With the BlackBerry KEYone, BlackBerry and TCL launch a new smartphone which wants to be different than its competitors and set the focus on productivity and security. Is BlackBerry back? Let's find out in this review. Inside the box is the BlackBerry KEYone, some literature, a 9V 2A charging plug, a USB-C cable, a SIM tool and in-ear headphones. On the front is the 4.5-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 1620 by 1080 with a pixel density of 434 ppi and is protected by Gorilla Glass 4. Colors, contrast, saturation and sharpness are quite good, and working with it is also quite nice. The brightness is relatively good, but it could be a bit brighter. The aspect ratio of 3:2 sounds a bit strange in the beginning, but you get used to it immediately. Only on some videos it will lead to black bars on the top and the bottom. Double tap to wake up is also supported, by the way. The 8MP front camera with an 84° wide-angle lens and autofocus is rather mediocre for the price, and the quality is similar to the Honor 6X. The pictures could be more sharp or less washed out, and the dynamic range could be better. Especially with a less bright background, the pictures look quite nice though. Other options or a beauty mode are unfortunately not included. Instead, you have a display selfie flash and you can take panorama selfies. At least it's possible to choose out of 19 different filters, which can also be applied to the main camera. The most important feature of any BlackBerry is of course the keyboard. It comes with 35 keys and supports up to 52 shortcuts. You can, for example, easily open up any app, function or more. It also comes with an included trackpad which you can use for scrolling and swiping through pages and pictures, and a double tap activates the cursor mode to navigate easily through text. The trackpad is great, and after a while you tend to use it most of the time. You don't have to touch the display that often, which also helps with fingerprints on the screen. I also really like that the spacebar includes the fingerprint sensor, which works fast and reliably. The quality of the keyboard is really great, and typing on it feels strangely very satisfying. The keys could be a little bit small and too close to each other for some people, but I could get used to it quite well. BlackBerry focuses here greatly on productivity, which is also reflected by the integrated software. They want to offer their users more than any other 5.5-inch full-touch smartphone can do. And yes, after a short time to get used to it and some personalization, a lot of things worked much faster for me. The BlackBerry KEYone has a U-form body and is rounded up on the sides and the bottom, but is flat on the top. The microphone for noise cancelling and the 3.5mm headphone jack are also located there. Here you can also use your headphones for radio reception. On the right side is the SIM slot on which you can place a SIM card and a microSD. Unfortunately, the option for a second SIM card is missing, even if dual SIM would make a lot of sense with this type of smartphone. Also on the left is the power button. A USB-C port, the microphone and the mono speaker are on the bottom. The quality for phone calls is great, and the speakers are actually quite decent and have a decent bass. Highs and lows are okay, and the quality loss on higher volumes is not too big. The body is made of an aluminum alloy which seamlessly goes to the display and keyboard area, and on the back is a rubberized surface which gives the phone a better grip. The build quality is top notch, and it's the most stable and high quality looking phone I had in my hands for a while. I wouldn't risk it, but I believe it would survive a few hits on the ground. The BlackBerry KEYone comes with a 12MP f2.0 camera on the back with a Sony IMX378 camera sensor with dual LED flash and autofocus, which can also be found inside the Xiaomi Mi 5S. Pictures convince with their good detail and natural look, but also strong colors. The contrast and the dynamic range can also convince. During low light situations there is some quality loss and there is some noise. In the dark it is not as good as some cheaper smartphones like the Galaxy S6 or S7, but in total it is quite a good camera. The camera app is very simple and comes with just a few options and next to no special modes. You can activate the automatic HDR mode or take panorama shots. The nice thing is that you can correct the exposure easily by swiping to the left or right. RAW images are not supported even if there is a manual mode with many different settings. Here you can change the focus, shutter speed, ISO, white balance and exposure. The video camera is quite good. Sharpness, dynamic range and colors are quite nice, and 1080p 60fps and 4K 30fps recordings are possible. An optical image stabilization is not included, but you can use the software solution for videos with 1080p 30fps and lower quality. In total, the BlackBerry KEYone feels really good and fits nicely in my hand. That may also be because with 1 cm it is thicker than most other smartphones. Even though I really like the design, I still wish the camera would be on the same level as the rest of the body, except that it is one of the best built smartphones on the market. I personally would also use it without a case. The BlackBerry KEYone comes with 3GB RAM and 32GB extendable internal storage. As a processor, we have here the Snapdragon 625 octa-core with 2GHz, which was produced with a 14nm FinFET process and is very energy efficient. The Adreno 506 GPU is responsible for the graphics. This chipset, in terms of performance, places itself in the middle class and is a bit stronger than the Kirin 655 inside the Honor 6X. And also most games run very good on medium settings, so the performance should be more than enough for the average consumer. The phone is powered by a 3505 mAh battery. The screen on time is around 8.5 hours, so it can easily compete with other phones like the Honor 8 Pro or the Huawei Mate 9. For hardcore users, it means you get easily through the day, and for average users, 2 to 3 days of usage. Thanks to Quick Charge 3.0, it also charges quite fast. In the first 35 minutes, starting around 10%, you will reach the 50% mark. The BlackBerry KEYone runs Android 7.1.1 Nougat and is very close to stock Android. It still comes with some extra apps, customizations and features by BlackBerry. Especially useful is the BlackBerry Hub, which collects all messages like emails, SMS and social media notifications in one place. If you, for example, have a few different mail accounts, you don't need to switch to different apps all the time. It also shows your appointments, tasks and contact favorites. If activated, you can access it from everywhere. The BlackBerry KEYone sets a bigger focus on the security features, which should make it different from other Android smartphones. The system as well as the hardware are protected by security keys to offer the safest Android experience. BlackBerry uses its own DTAG security architecture to ensure transparency and control over data protection. A constant surveillance warns the user if the privacy is endangered from outside. You can set the security as high as you want and you get alarmed if, for example, the microphone is turned on. Other examples would be that all the emails you send are encrypted through the BlackBerry Enterprise server, which should be interesting for companies since you can organize, share and work on your data together. And the password manager is also included. Also very cool is the possibility to set up a lock key, which locks the device and deactivates the fingerprint sensor, so you can only unlock it with a PIN or password. I can imagine that it could be useful in many situations. The BlackBerry KEYone will be available in some countries on May the 4th and in the US on 31st of May for €599, $549 or your original equivalent. It sounds a bit expensive, especially if you compare some parts of the hardware with other devices, but you have to keep in mind that this device is made for a specific target group which value BlackBerry's qualities in the area of productivity, security and build quality. It's also hard to compare because there are not so many similar devices. The last BlackBerry, the BlackBerry Priv, is already 1 year old and had more obvious weaknesses. As a total package, I think the price is barely appropriate. BlackBerry fans can be excited for a great smartphone and of course the best BlackBerry on the market. Everyone else can give the BlackBerry KEYone at least a chance, even if it is a different kind of smartphone. If you need a physical keyboard or security features, you have to decide for yourself. In the end, it is a really solid all-rounder. In my full review on mobilegeeks.de, I rated it 8.1 out of 10. You have questions about the BlackBerry KEYone? Ask them in the comment section. If you like this video, give us a like and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Thank you for watching, my name is Ümit for Mobile Geeks.